doing these days that are hard? Do you have some hard things going on? Yeah, I've just done something really, really hard, and God is talking to me through that. Let's talk about that more today. Life can be quite the bending road. Sometimes it's nice and gentle, and sometimes it's a bit scary. The truth is that we will all experience a difficult bend in our road at some point. But it's also true that God will see us through. Let's travel this bending road together and help each other in our journey. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to catch other videos along the way. Welcome back to the Bending Road. Glad you could join me today. Yeah, every week I'm just so blessed to connect with you, and I love the comments back, and sometimes you comment back on Facebook or a direct message or on the video. That's cool. That's cool. I really like that. You know what? It lets me know that I'm not alone. And it lets me know that I'm not the only one who kind of has, some struggles in life. I did a really, really difficult thing this week. I had a PRP injection, and I always have to think about this. This is a platelet-rich plasma injection. So they draw off some blood and they spit it out, and they take the really rich, good stuff, I guess, and they inject a little bit back in. Now, what's interesting is they take 90 cc's of blood and they put back in about 2 cc's, which I guess is a good thing, because if they were trying to pump any more of that into my bad hip, it would be really painful. But it seems crazy that they could take so much and only put back a little bit. I didn't realize how painful this would be. I really didn't. It knocked me for a loop, I'm telling you. So when you get an injection, I guess normally, I don't know all about this. I am not a medical person, okay? I just repeat words that I hear, But I guess when you get a regular injection, there's some painkiller in that, some medicine to numb you. In this particular injection, there wasn't, and I guess that's what makes it really awful. I mean, just terrible, terrible pain. When the doctor starts saying to you, go to your happy place, just keep breathing, even he felt bad. Anyway, so I got through that, and I'm doing so much better now. The hip still hurts, and we'll see if this actually works. But I did it because I wanted to see if this new technology would make a difference. And can I help in the advancement of this new technology? Because it's not that I'm anti-drugs, but I would rather not just take painkillers. I'd rather fix the problem. And this has some potential to promote some good growth in that hip of some good healthy tissue. And I'm hoping that that'll work. But anyway, what God has been speaking to me through this process is, we go through a lot of difficult times, and Dave and I have had some difficult times, and I've shared a lot of that with you. But when we go through hard times, we so desperately want the pain to just go away. Now, the doctor could have numbed that further. He could have added some sort of pain killer in there, but I would not have full benefit of the injection. He wants the body to work and do the work of healing my hip. He could have, there could have been some anti-inflammatory that would have probably taken some of the pain away, but they don't want that. They want that anti-inflammatory response in the body, or that inflammatory response, whatever it is, to work. They want that to do the job. So the pain is part of the process, and I think that's so often the case. We want to so eliminate pain that we don't get the full benefit of the process. So I was reading this morning. I have a couple of favorite devotionals. And this one is A.W. Tozer. It's called Evenings with Tozer. I read it in the morning. No harm done, I don't think. But this one references Matthew 10:22. In Matthew 10:22, Jesus is saying, "You will be hated by everyone because of me, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved." So the one who doesn't quit in the midst of that pain, in the midst of that suffering, in the midst of that trial. He then goes on, Matthew 10:28. "Do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather be afraid of the one who can destroy both body and soul in heaven and in hell." And then he goes on in 10:32 and 33. "Whoever acknowledges me before others, I will also acknowledge before my Father in heaven. But whoever disowns me before others, I will disown before my Father in heaven." So all three of these are talking about that difficulty, that pain that we experience through life. Life isn't easy, right? And are we going to pick up and carry our cross through this thing? Are we going to feel the pain and get through this? Or are we going to lay down that cross and say, "Okay, no, I've had enough"? So Tozer, in this devotional, he says I'm going to read this, okay? I'm going to read this. "There's a plain and evident fact in genuine Christianity that is often overlooked by eager evangelists bent on getting results. That to accept Christ, it is necessary that we reject everything contrary to him." We present the gospel kind of a soft gospel these days. Jesus is our helper. Jesus is our comforter. Jesus is our compassion. Jesus is our savior. Jesus is the good stuff. And yes, all that is true. But we cannot negate the fact that Jesus says, okay, so some things are going to get hard. Some things are going to get hard. People are going to hate you because of this. And you can't deny me, or I'm going to deny you. And don't be afraid of the one who can kill the body but can't kill the soul. You be afraid of the one who can send both into hell. Tozer goes on that we don't want to say that there are disadvantages to the Christian life, that it gets hard. And he says the contemporary climate doesn't favor faith as tough and fibrous as Jesus taught, that it's got to be, we got to be hard and get through these things. He goes on, he says, this is the line that kind of caught my attention. "The delicate, brittle saints being produced in our religious hothouses today are hardly to be compared with the committed, expendable believers who once gave their witness among men." There were those in the day that laid down their lives, men and women both, who said, "No, I will not reject Jesus. I will not renounce Christ. I am going to stand firm." And they did. They stood firm to the end till they were beheaded or crucified themselves or sent to the lions, sent to the pit, just murderous, horrible things. And we don't like to think about that today. We want the soft side of Christianity. When Jesus says, "Take up your cross," we think, okay, we'll put the little gold one around our neck because it's pretty and it has diamonds in it and it sparkles. But that's not what Jesus was talking about. Jesus was talking about take up the hard things in life. Stand firm to the end. What's he say? That you will be hated by everyone because of me, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. You go through Revelation, at least the letters. Just at this point, just stick with the letters. If you've never really delved into Revelation, it's a hard book. It's a hard thing to really wrap our heads around. But just read the letters. Those who do the hard things to the end will receive the crown of life, will receive glory, will endure, will live. I knew in this procedure I was going to have, it was not life-threatening. It is not the taking up the cross, okay? It's just an analogy. But I knew the doctor had told me that it was not going to be comfortable. Well, Not comfortable was an understatement, I'll tell you that. I couldn't even find my happy place when he was plunging that needle into my hip. But even afterwards, it was painful for a long time. Now by day 3, again, I'm feeling better, but I could have shortcutted that process. But I wouldn't have received the benefits. Now, I don't know how this procedure is going to work out. I don't know if it's even going to make a difference. Maybe in 6 weeks, I'll say, I am no better off than I was 6 weeks ago. And I've spent a lot of money and I've experienced a lot of pain for nothing. But I think I need to, regardless of a guaranteed outcome. You see, Jesus never guarantees our outcome here on earth. He doesn't say that if you stand firm to the end, you will live and they won't martyr you. If you stand firm to the end, all of your friends are going to love you and your family's going to think you're amazing. If you stand firm to the end, you're going to be successful. You'll be a successful preacher and you'll be a millionaire and No. He never says that. He never says that. He says that we'll be with him one day. That the success, that the end result will come one day down the road in the next life. Now, you may have some benefits here. You may make some friends. You may have a successful ministry, and yeah, there may be some positive results for preaching the gospel, for sharing Jesus with your neighbor. You may have some positive things happen for telling people the hard thing about Christ. But those successes, that's nothing. That is nothing compared to God receiving the glory. When somebody accepts Christ, I don't want the glory for that. I don't get the glory for that. God gets the glory for that. Maybe I had a part in it. Maybe I said something one Sunday that somebody said, yeah, that makes sense. And they go seeking after Christ and they find and accept Christ. But it's God who gets the glory here and now. The end result through the pain, the heartache, the hard times, the whatever, the taking up your cross, carrying it no matter what happens, the results of that are going to be in heaven one day. I had somebody say to me once, my oldest son was being picked on the bus, not abnormal, but it was a nuisance. It was obnoxious. They were just, it's hard when a kid's being picked on. It's hard when adults are picked on. Somebody said to me, well, maybe it's because of all the church stuff that you do, all the talk about Jesus that you do. Maybe if you told him not to do that, then he wouldn't get picked on. Well, first of all, I don't know that he was being picked on because of all the church stuff, of all the Jesus talk. There's a fly in here that I'm going to begin to abuse here in a minute. I'm not sure that he was picked on because of all that Jesus stuff, but I would never tell anybody to tone down the Jesus stuff so that they won't be picked on. That is not what Jesus calls us to do. Jesus calls us to take up our cross, follow him. It's my hope today that if you are going through a difficult time, if you have a difficult relationship with someone, family, friend, in the church, something because of your faith, if you're able, see if you can sit down and chat with them. See if there's a pastor who can sit down and kind of mediate with you and talk with you. Or just maybe it's you, maybe it's another family member, maybe there's a Christian friend that you can take with you. But if you can't, if it's not a situation where you can actually sit down and talk with this individual and come to some form of agreement, some explanation as to why things are the way they are, you pray for them. You just pray for them. Don't badmouth them. Don't backtalk them. Don't do anything like that. Don't stop talking about Jesus. Don't compromise that. Just pray for them. Pray for them that they will find Jesus, that you will have wisdom, know the words to say. And it's my prayer that the pain will be minimal, but that you will not forego the pain, so that you can reap the full results of what Jesus has for you one day. I hope you have a good week. And I do, for those of you who have known about my struggle with my hip, I appreciate your prayers. And I look forward to seeing you again next week along the Bending Road. It was great to have you join me today along this Bending Road. You can connect with me on social media or on my website at bendingroad.weebly.com. I would love to pray for you as you navigate the bends in your road. Remember, when you see the bend in your road, do not be afraid. Take the hand of God and keep walking. You are not alone.